festival in the Netherlands, bringing you a look at some of the best new bands of the moment. And coming up next, we have Tool, and I'm joined by Maynard from the band. Now, Maynard, thanks for taking time out to talk to us today. Maybe you could start a little bit talking about touring. You've been doing Lollapalooza and some shows across Europe. How's that been going?
We've been on the road for about 3 months now, on and off in Europe and in the United States. It's been kind of like one great big crab steak smothered in dictators.
I saw you playing today, and certainly for you, I would imagine that playing live gigs, it's like an emotionally draining experience. You're so into it. Are you just like really concentrating 100%?
I can only really do one thing at a time, so that's why I look so intense and concentrating. So I can't really chew gum and walk at the same time. So.
No, but how do you feel when you come off stage? Are you just like emotionally drained, or do you feel kind of, is it like therapy?
Sure. Therapy.
Okay. Can we go back a little bit to the earlier days of the band, because you formed in Los Angeles in the late 80s when that whole glam thing was happening. Was it like an antithesis to that whole scene?
Actually, we formed right around in 90 sometime, I think. Late 89, 90. And we didn't really have much to do with the glam scene at all. We hadn't really planned on getting a record deal. We just wanted to kind of play around in clubs and kind of get some frustrations out and continue doing what menial jobs we had. And it just kind of took out from underneath us. And here we are.
Okay. Now, I don't think it's been very well documented, but when you first got the band together, there was a particular book that inspired you about the study of human pain. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
It's a book written in the late 40s by a guy named Ronald P. Vincent, and the best active explanation I could give is just what you hear on the records. You know, that's kind of like an example, you know, a practical application of those kind of principles. We're actually going to release the book, and we were in the process of releasing it when a family member showed up and gave us a cease and desist letter, because we didn't think there was a copyright holder anymore. We thought that he had no family left, and we couldn't find a copyright. And we're going through litigation now to actually prove that this person is in fact family. And if in case she's not, then we can just release the book. And if she is, we need to buy her out, because I don't think she has any cash at all to really put the book out, and I think it really needs to be out there.
And do you think that if people read the book that it will give them a better understanding of the record?
No, not necessarily. It's a completely separate thing. It's not really a motivation. It's more just of a catalyst. You know, it's not like we're some kind of religious freaks running around trying to promote a religion. It's just something that kind of was inspiring, like reading a really good book or watching a good movie, or you know.
Because I believe it was very controversial at the time, and I guess it still is.
Not necessarily. I mean, it was controversial in its time for a while, but it's not that well written. It's got a lot of really good, important points to it, but he had no money behind him, and it's not about the gathering of people and the giving up of your free will. So churches couldn't capitalize on it.
Okay, well, we're going to go into the video for Sober from your new album Undertow, and I believe there's a bit of a connection with Green Jelly here, that the video was made by the same person that made their video. Is that right?
Kind of, yeah. Adam, our guitar player, and Fred Sturr, who did the Three Little Pigs video, collaborated on the Sober video.
Okay. Well, let's see that video for Sober, and then we'll talk to Maynard a little bit more right after we've seen the clip. With me on the Headbangers Ball, we're talking about the new album Undertow, and would you say it's very important for Tool to be confrontational, Maynard?
I don't know that it's necessarily a confrontational album. I think it's more confrontational within ourselves. I don't think it's something that's, you know, we're presenting it to somebody else to offend them or to put them on the spot. It's more of I think it's more of an internal thing that other people are invited to witness.
So is it particularly kind of gratifying for you if somebody, a listener, came up to you who had listened to your record and said, I listened to this song and it meant this to me, even if it was something a little bit different to what you originally intended?
That's very important. It's an open book, pretty much. It's It's not anything that has to do with standing on a soapbox saying, this is the way you should think, and this is the way I think, and here's what's right and here's what's wrong. It's more of a blank palette, so to speak, and you draw.
People can paint their own ideas onto that.
Draw your own conclusions.
Now you recorded Undertow with a female producer, Sylvia Massey, which I found very interesting. I was wondering, did she add a different perspective to what you were doing in any way?
This is a very good engineer, an engineer that does her job well, and she's just very good, and we work well as a group. She has a lot of input. She's better than any engineer that we met with, and so we used her.
Did you find the studio a creative environment?
Definitely. Yeah. We had a lot of the songs done before the album, but some weren't, and she helped in that respect.
Right. There you go, a female producer, Sylvia Massey, produced Tool's album Undertow. Good for her. Well, we'll talk to Maynard a little bit more, but right now we're going to go into another video, but we'll be back with Tool and some live performance as well. So stay tuned as the Headbangers Ball continues. With Maynard from Tool, we've got a few more moments to talk. We've got some live performance on the way. And Maynard, going back to the album Undertow, I believe that Henry Rollins appeared on one of the tracks. I was wondering, why do you feel an affinity with Henry Rollins?
We did a little bit of touring with him, but the main reason he appeared on the album is because we had a gambling debt that he owed us, so we took it out in time on vinyl.
Is that the truth?
Sure.
Because I was wondering if he has a very strong message as well about making the most of yourself and stuff like that. I wondered if you felt an affinity to that side of things.
Well, that's initially how we ended up getting to tour with him, because it's similar attitudes, but what actually happened was we were at a place called the Anaconda in Santa Barbara and doing some, poker, and he kept bluffing on bad hands, and we of course kept calling him, and he got into about $3,000 in debt with us, and rather than having him sign over an IOU, we had him go ahead and just sing on the record.
There you go. Okay. So very quickly now, Maynard, what are the plans for Tool over the next few months?
We're going to be running around Europe for about 2 months, and then we're going to go back to LA and dodge bullets and write songs.
So do you not write on the road then? Do you wait until you get home, have a break, and then get back to it?
We come up with general sketches on the road, but we can't really fully realize what we've got until we're in our own practice space, slamming it out.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for taking time out to talk to us on Headbangers Ball. Good to see you again. Good luck with the rest of the European dates. And we're going to see a little bit of Tool live right now. Then we'll go into a break and we'll be back with Stone Temple Pilots. But let's take a look at Tool rocking out right here at the Paradise Festival in the Netherlands.
There's no the show. Stay on, shameless no, nameless no, nothing no, no one knows. My soul must be iron, fear is naked.